talking about the Danelectro 59M. This is one I just picked up recently, got a good deal on it, and I've always been into these Danelectro guitars. I've had a couple of them in the past, but never this particular model with just basic 2 lipstick pickup kind of configuration. I'll spare you a lot of the stuff that a lot of other people have gone over. The basic construction, you know, it's the center block and there's a frame in there, and then there's like these 2 pieces of, people keep saying masonite. I don't know if it's masonite anymore, if it's just MDF or if it's plywood or something like that, but whatever, it's hollow on either side of the center portion. 2 lipstick pickups, an intonation adjustable bridge with no tremolo. I think the neck might be maple. It's got these kind of kooky, sort of gang channel type tuners on there that are open. I know a lot of the newer models have the closed individual tuners, which are cool too. These kind of have their own little vibe though. They stay in tune pretty well. What you heard when I first started was the guitar through a Marshall JVM. I'm plugged into the clean channel with a little bit of gain on it, through a 212 cabinet, and I've got an MXR Reverb set probably with a little more reverb than I probably should have on there. But, you know, whatever. Ingve says more is more, and I'll believe Master Ingve. So I first played some stuff in the back pickup. I'm going to turn my volume back up. Middle position is both pickups. Front position is the front pickup by itself. And they all have their own kind of individual character. Front pickup almost kind of has an acoustic kind of vibe. The back pickup is sort of thin sounding. You can roll the tone back. Helps a little bit like it does with most guitars, but there's a lot of treble there, which is cool because that means that, you know, between those 2 sounds, in the middle position we get this jangly. Turn the compressor on. It's a cool sound. It's really unique. I don't think it really sounds like anything else out there. Maybe Rickenbacker would be the closest. Maybe this, if you had that itch for a $3,000 Rick 330 or something like that, this would be a good substitute that's an order of magnitude less expensive. So the positives I think are that I think it just looks cool as hell. I love this tape on the side, you know, whatever it is, it's kind of vinyl, linoleum kind of stuff. The pickguard shape is cool. We've got volume and tone for each pickup, which I know for a lot of people that's an important thing. Personally, I would just probably take it or leave it, but just a single volume and single tone. But, you know, that's what it is. Switch is pretty solid. The neck feels great. It's kind of chunky. You know, it's got some thickness to it. It's not overly wide. I've got the action probably about as good as I can get it. Bridges all the way down, and it plays pretty well. It plays pretty decent. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. So yeah, again, and it's affordable. You know, I won't call it cheap because it's still a good value, and I think cheap things aren't a good value. Cheap things are junk and they don't perform and they fall apart and they're garbage. But this is not that. This is a cool high value instrument. So some of the bad parts, some things I don't like necessarily. The output jack being attached to the pick guard is kind of a problem. You can notice on this particular example, it is a little squirrely when you mess with it. Maybe it needs a new output jack. I don't know, maybe it's not screwed in all the way. I'm not sure. I haven't messed with it enough to know. The other big gripe I have is, though this is a big improvement on the single piece of wood that a lot of Danelectros have for the bridge saddles, and then this flimsy little thin piece of aluminum that warps and gets weird on you. This is a huge improvement over that. So this is like 90% of the way there. But the bridge route, or the in the body, so the bridge is kind of recessed in there, which again, kudos to them for doing that. That's really cool. But in order to change strings, you have to take the bridge all the way out. So you have to unscrew these guys enough so that you can pull the bridge out of the cavity, because there's just no room to fit a ball end in there. I don't know if you can see those where they are in the bridge, but I don't know. I kind of fooled around with the idea of maybe putting a little chamfer there, like a little ramp, so that I could fit string ball ends through. I'm not sure. This is a really cool guitar, though. I'd hate to mangle it and do something stupid. So those are my only downsides with this instrument. You know, like if I'm playing acoustically, it's alive. You know, you feel it resonating when you're playing. It's just cool. It's a cool instrument. It really is. It's quirky. It's just kind of, it's a little bit strange, especially, you know, I'm a Strat guy, so picking up something like this is a little weird. But anyway, so we've heard kind of the mostly clean sound. I'm going to switch to the OD1 channel on the Marshall. You hear how bright that back pickup is. Kind of running into the neck joint there, which is kind of another issue, but most people aren't going to be playing that kind of stuff on this guitar. So, but like I said, really pretty bright for this kind of It actually sounds kind of cool now that I think about it. But you know, really going back to the clean channel on the Marshall. If I could get a big muff, this is the Green Russian, set with just all the distortion, none of the tone and volume, just so it doesn't blow us out here. It's not without its capabilities with distortion. I'm going to go ahead and kick on a Klon. This is the J Rocket Archer Icon. I don't know a whole lot about these things. I know this one is a killer sounding pedal, and anything I put it in front of that's already distorting, it just does this thing that I really dig. So here it goes. So the question of will it shred? It'll shred. Nonsense, but I don't know. It's got a little more versatility than people tend to give it credit for. I'm going to go ahead and shut the amp off, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the comparisons between this guitar and the 59X that I also picked up. wasn't really planning on having two of these guitars that are so similar, but I found this for I got a really good deal on it. Shown kind of some of the struggles with the strap button, but at least you know on this end of things it's not going to fail on you probably if you're not using strap locks. Like I tend not to. I try to just hold on to my guitar. I don't jump around too much. So here is the 59X. I don't know if you can see it, but it is a really cool dark, oh, you can kind of see it, kind of a dark purple. I think maybe it's got a little bit of metal flake in there. I don't know. It looks killer. You know, the obvious differences are the pickups. You know, the 59's got this kind of, the 59X has this P90-like pickup in the front pickup. I don't think it's technically a P90, but it looks like one. And it's got a splittable lipstick humbucker in the back, where this just has the two lipstick single coil pickups. So you're going to get bigger, fatter sounds out of this one. It's, you know, if you're out gigging and you're out playing a lot, I think this is going to offer you a little bit more versatility. You still get those single coil sounds, but you can also get that back pickup grunt that you need. This is probably a good ½ pound heavier than this. I don't think the 59M weighs 6 pounds. I'd be surprised if it were that or greater. The 59X body is a little bit thicker. As you can see, it doesn't have the white kind of vinyl siding tape around the outside, which I think is something that makes this really cool, and it has that just kind of old school kind of vibe to it. This is much more modernized. The output jack is, if I can find it, the output jack is on the side of the guitar, whereas it's on the pick guard, unfortunately, on this model. It would be really cool if Danelectro would release one of these with the pick guard off, with the input jack off of the pick guard, and maybe a plastic pick guard. This has a plastic pick guard, which is a big improvement functionally. It also only has two knobs. It's got a single volume and a single tone, which I think is probably better for most people. You know, especially, I mean, if you're out playing and singing, you know, you're busy. You don't want to mess with a bunch of knobs. This is another reason why I have trouble with Les Pauls. It's like, man, I can never remember which is the volume and tone for which pickup. I'm always getting confused. I'm busy. I'm singing. I'm playing. You know, I'm goofing around with pedals and sounds, and I'm playing technical stuff. I don't want to be really messing around too much with goofing with knobs on the guitar. It's got a 3-way toggle as well. I'll do a video on this separately probably. But as you can see here, one of the big differences for me is the bridge cutout is much more generous on this guitar. You could probably get in here and change strings without taking the bridge out. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's got a little ramp here coming out of the bridge where if you pass a string through the bridge from this side, it's going to come out here and it's just going to ride up that ramp so you can grab it, loop it through, and then string it up at the headstock. All that said, the 59M, the more old school one, it's just, I don't know, there's something about it that is just so cool. I love the way it looks, I love the way it feels, I love the way it sounds. I gotta choose between one of these two guitars. I can't justify having two guitars that are so similar. It would be hard to get rid of this thing. This thing is just cool. If I'm just gonna sit down on the couch and like watch some YouTube or something like that, because TV is trash, this is probably what I'm going for. You know, I could, it's cheap enough, right? So if I put a bunch of miles on it and I'm wearing frets out and I'm putting dings in and stuff, it's not going to really kill me, you know, the way it would if I put a ding in this, right? You know, this is a much more serious instrument, and it's 10 times the price. You know, obviously that's kind of to be expected, but that being said, it's cool as hell. If you get a chance to pick one up for cheap, I highly advise it. If you ever see one in the store and you see a bunch of them and they're in kooky colors and they're cheap and they're dusty because no one's playing them, you go, I don't want to play those things. Take one off the wall, plug it into a good amp, and make somebody an offer on it. They're just cool as hell. I love this guitar a lot. This thing is really neat. So anyway, thanks for watching. Sorry for the crap playing and for all the babbling. Have a good one.